This time we're going to capture the actual sharpening. Last time couldn't hear it too well. See if you can get that one in there. Yeah, why not? Oh, okay. There it is. Oh, that's a crack. I heard a crack. Is that your lead falling out?
No, it's your lead, and it's intact, but it's close.
No, mine are sharp.
This is yours.
I just don't. I have one out an eraser.
That's yours.
Anyway, anyone who's just tuning in, this is Doomsday Doopy Doo.
It's pencil sharpening Doopy Doo.
Pencil sharpening. This is the ASMR episode. This again.
It's satisfying. This wasn't like.
Oh, you're ruining it. You're ruining the ASMR thing.
Oh, sorry. Go.
No, you're the one with the sharpener. You got to sharpen it in the microphone.
Okay.
Like as close to the mic without hitting it, and with utter silence. Right.
Okay. Ready? Here we go.
The hairs are standing up in the back of my neck. All right.
Every school flashback ever, like, oh, fuck.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the RPG. This is the time in the bunker where we're done talking to each other and we just end up playing a little games to let the time pass as all hell breaks loose outside. This is Gamma World we're playing, D20 rules, and we're going to just do a recap. And Chris is here.
Hi. Sorry. Yes, I haven't not said anything yet.
You're going to. I don't know if we're too loud because now we're trying to get on mic more, and now I feel like we're distorting.
Okay. It could be other reasons why we're hyper acute or aware of what we're doing.
Maybe. We have coffee this time.
A lot of coffee.
Okay.
So
it's always good to adjust the levels of the show live while recording.
No, we're very, if nothing, we just sharpened pencils for a minute and a half on the air.
Well, I bet you, if it was a YouTube video, those guys, they get a lot of views. Did you ever watch any of those? I have.
Of what?
Well, really,
pencil sharpening?
The ASMR videos.
What is ASMR?
Auto something response. It's where you're listening to. So that helps.
Sensory motor response?
Something like that. Is that okay. Auto sensory motor response?
This sounds exactly like the other show.
It does.
It's where you say something, you miss half of it. I misdefine it. We talk about it for 20 minutes and then we look it up.
Well, no, we don't look it up. We look it up the following week because then we're talking about something else.
But we have these powerful computers on our pockets.
I know, and you say that every time, but we never look at it. Screw it. But it's something. If anyone who's into ASMR knows what it is, even if they don't know what it means.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think
you get like this weird, like what's weird? The one time I did acid, I felt that same feeling, like in the back, like the base of your skull, that little like I don't know that tingle.
Yeah,
I think it's ASMR.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I've heard the term now that you mention it, and yes, that's a whole thing.
Yep, that's the thing. So we did that. We covered it.
We're covered.
Okay, so
can we tag the podcast with that then? I mean, is that going to
ASMR?
Yeah,
we should
tag it on.
I'll
the
put
YouTube
it in the
feed.
show notes.
Fuck it.
So we're going to recap. So you this week, I think last week you did it too. So this week, why don't you just fill us in? Oh no, last week you had me do it.
Well, you started it, and then I jumped in and I filled in some gaps.
Okay, that's what must have happened. This time, let's get a recap from our DM Chris Scannell. Gamma World, 4 or 5, something like that,
or maybe even 6.
But we
knew there were so many different versions.
Yeah, we kind of. So a little bit out. We did the prologue first.
Yes. So we mistakenly, and Nick almost died in the prologue. Twice, actually.
Twice. Died in the prologue.
Yeah. But he's learning, and once again, I'm shaking off the rust. But welcome to Gamma World. The last episode, we left off Meecho.
Right.
Not Meecho.
Not Meecho.
It's 2 words.
Not Meecho.
It's Meecho. Meecho, after his failure in the arena, lost consciousness and awoke in a plain Stark apartment.
Yep.
Healed. once again, his mysterious friend Glume had rescued him from a pile of bodies where he was discarded and brought him back to heal. Several days had passed by, and they had forgotten about Riggs entirely because they're both loathsome characters who only think about themselves. And so they went back to where he was left, unconscious and potentially dying, and found that he had been moved. After some inquiries made on the street, they realized that he'd been taken back to the same area that Meecho had been held originally.
Mm-hmm.
And they come up with a plan where they were going to go in and either spring him or at least figure out what's going on.
See if at least he was there. He was either going to be there or not be there. And either way, that was we were able to rule out.
They infiltrated the compound to find that he was there, and he was being used as bait to bring Meecho back to the compound by Maggot, the son of Husk, the marauder leader, who had captured him as a young boy and held him as a slave. After a brief battle, Glume and Meecho defeated Maggot and the guards in the compound. Subsequently, Riggs was killed in the melee. Actually, he wasn't killed in the melee. He was pre-melee killed.
Right. He was set up to be killed. He was put on display.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was executed, actually, would be the proper word.
Yeah, crucified.
Crucified and executed on the Tree of Woe, or just actually in the cell where Meecho had been held for many years. Enraged, Meecho struck down Maggot after a melee and slew him.
And have a little help from Glume.
With a little overwatch help from Glume, and then sprung the slaves from all the cells, and they all streamed out into the night and into the street, and Meecho and Glume slipped off into the darkness towards their next adventure. And that brings us up to where we are now.
Okay. So, I try and clear my throat off mic for the show.
Yes.
I look around. No, I'm running towards Glume, right?
Uh-huh.
I get to him, and exhausted and injured. I think I was bleeding pretty bad. I got something on the side. As I reach him, kind of fumble to a knee, and I stare down at the ground, holding myself up with one arm, the other hand holding the sheath and part of the hilt of the vibro blade. And I'm squeezing it with my left hand. I'm holding myself up with my right, and I'm staring at the ground, heaving, bleeding, tired. And I start to weep a little bit. And then I brush it off.
Okay.
And I stand up, and I look face to face to Glume, who's there now, right? I'm in front of him. And I say, it's time. I say, what do I say? I say, it's time.
Okay.
It's time that I start paying you back. And I got to get healed up.
All right.
But it's time.
Okay, so he looks down at you. He kind of hooks his hand underneath your armpit and helps you up. And he's much. How tall are you? Like sub 6 foot, right?
Yeah, I'm 6. I hopefully this doesn't shit on your point. I'm 6 foot 1 inch, 240.
Okay. He's
224.
He's 6'4", 195.
He's pretty big guy, but maybe on the lanky side.
Yeah, he's lankier. So he kind of hooks your arm over his shoulder, and he helps you limp out into the night. You know, he's in a hurry for obvious reasons, because the other marauders are coming. You can actually hear the engines of their vehicles, which are big and loud, much like they are. And you can hear them screaming through the streets, especially because the night it's quiet, right? So those engines, and you can hear that they're coming in mass, and that the chaos of the slaves escaping, you know, he's hoping that you guys can slip away in the midst of all that chaos and no one can point you out. To say, oh yeah, I saw them go this way or that way. So he kind of grabs you and hooks your arm and helps you through a couple of back alleyways, and then you start to see the familiar neighborhood of getting towards where we're going to transit up a few levels to where his apartment is.
Okay.
and he helps you. He's helping you up the stairs.
Thanks, Glume. Where are we headed?
Well, I think to your point, it's the middle of the night. You're hurt. We'll go back to my place. We'll heal you up with what's left of the medical stuff that I have. There's no more after that. And then we have to start planning on where we're going after this. So let's have a quick conversation.
Sure.
So he helps you up the stairs. And you transit a few levels. It's a giant stairwell where you could tell where in the event that there was a problem, you could evacuate an entire level of this structure. So it would be a mass of people coming through here. It's like, 100-foot wide, almost like stairwell going out.
Okay.
And you finally get maybe 4 levels up, and it continues up higher than that. And you kind of at that door that opens up to that neighborhood where his place is.
All right. My dice are in that drawer over there. Hang on a second.
All right. I'm going to fill the noise, the emptiness of the space, the not noise as Nick gets his dice.
I forgot.
How can you forget your dice to play the game?
No, I didn't forget to. I had them where I wanted them. I just forgot to take them out.
Do you want the yellow dice?
No, I don't want the yellow dice.
Okay, good. I don't want the. They actually saw the light of day after I promised that they wouldn't. They snuck their way out of the pouch by accident. So the piss yellow dice are persistent and they want to get out.
I really like the way those look. That's what sucks.
I did too. That's why I offered it, because it would be like my third choice would be the yellow dice.
Right. I can't open this bag. I'll get there. Here we go.
It's supposed to be a drawstring, but that's such a ghetto gangster TSR bag that I wanted to give you. That it's like
no, that's good.
Apart.
I just wanted to be ready in case. All right. So I look around. I try to reconnoiter the place a little bit as I'm being kind of dragged along. I'd been down this path already, I think, right?
Yes.
On the way.
Yeah.
So it's a little familiar. But I could just see if I could soak in any of the details, or if we're being watched or followed.
Yeah, I mean, the streets are pretty empty. I mean, as you exited that lower level, the noise started to go away and you were further away from the commotion of it. And now you're 4 levels up and it's quiet, and it's almost more like a quiet suburban type neighborhood as opposed to a quiet urban type neighborhood, which was down below where it was much more like alleyways and streets. This is a little bit more open. There's some outdoor, almost like parky looking areas that have some access for lighting to come into that layer of the city. Very well planned. You don't see any of the city guards, which you typically see. They are aligned with the keepers. They tend to guard the gates out. And one of the identifying things that they tend to have a mix of, they always have this crimson color somewhere in their uniforms and their armor, and these shock staves that they kind of wield, and they guard the gates to the outside.
And I see them or I don't see them.
You don't see any guard presence, and every now and then you would see, like, I think each like little section of the neighborhood has their own like police force, but then there's like the state-run police force of the keepers, which is a little more efficient. It'd be like the equivalent of like the FBI. You would see like FBI agents wandering through, because that they tend to be there for a very specific purpose, but they allow the governors of the different parts of the city to manage that with their own police force and their own people to deal with their population that's there, right? Because we do have such a mix of different people in this city, right?
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's quiet. I mean, you might see somebody like, somebody's out like walking their dog, their 8-legged dog.
Okay. Is morning approaching?
You're getting on. Yeah, dogs? You're in the pre-morning kind of that gloom of the night, where right before the sun starts to rise, right before then, when it's like the coldest part of the night. It's like right in that part, but no, the sun's not rising yet.
All right. I fumble around and reach behind my neck looking for the hood of my cloak that I had on. And just pull it over my head. All right.
So you pull it up, and you without really any incident, you get back to the apartment and you get inside. And he uses the rest of his healing stuff on you.
Okay. See, I sensed the dice. I sensed the roll. That's why I said I gotta get the bag. Oh, geez, he's warming them up. Oh, he's looking. Is that what we do? You have to pick the dice out?
No, I'm not picking. No, this is a roll.
That was a roll? 10, 11, 12, that many dice? 14.
You get back 22 hit points.
Jeez. Well, I don't. Yeah, that brings me to full health. I can't
Good.
surpass full health.
Then my plan succeeded. All right. So
let me
and-
get rid of these minuses.
you guys kind of shut it down, or actually, you know what? He heals you up, and since it works so well, he's kind of like, you know something, kid. And you know, he doesn't talk a lot. He's kind of a dude of few words, and it's almost like he's awkward when he talks.
Right.
Whatever it is that he does for Bling, you're not 100% sure, but you're pretty sure that he's mostly alone. He's just that kind of uncomfortable type character. So he, even when he talks, he's just uncomfortable in what he's saying,
right.
Cause he's not used to verbalizing. So, he kind of looks at you, goes, I'm thinking the sun is coming up. We had all this stuff go down. Maybe it makes the most sense if we grab a cup of calf before we get out of here and hit the road at sunrise, and we'll just push through to wherever it is that you want to go. But we get out now while maybe they're looking for us. If we can get our shit together and get out the gate before the sun comes up, we could probably, it's a good opportunity where they wouldn't even know we were here.
Yeah. Yeah. Where did you learn all this stuff?
I mean, I grew up here, so I know how this place works. But I mean, when you work for Bling, you know how to do things without being caught. You want to attract the least amount of attention and provide the most amount of value. So, yeah, I'm pretty good when it comes to thinking about stuff like this.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ exists in this realm?
I'm sure there's some.
Oh, it is Earth, right? I wonder if the second one, if anyone says Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm sure, yes, there have to be some.
Or is it like a new guy?
It could. Well, I'm sure there's a bit of that too.
There's got to be a new guy.
Yeah, I've been reading.
I should find out that, like, I'm in Dieseldorf.
How dare you use Amon Dieseldorf's name in vain?
The fuck is Amon? Anyway,
you're going to
say something
flack for that.
I say something similar to Jesus Christ,
Jesus Christo. You could say Jesus Christ or whatever. I mean, I'm sure Christianity would remain a prominent religion.
I'm just trying to be authentic.
But that's
so. Anyway, I like the way you think. Your plan sounds like a good one. You should probably go ahead and do that. Okay. I didn't think of that.
Okay. So he grabs a couple of backpacks. He starts throwing some provisions in there, some dried food, some like foil wrapped packages of food and stuff, a few bottles of water. He throws a canteen in there, first aid kit, which is like real basic, like none of the nanotechnology type stuff that he's using to heal you now.
Right.
It's more like,
he's pretty much used it all up already on
bandages and antiseptics. They might be on the high tech side but it would be like this kind of first aid kit you have in your minivan, for your kids' soccer game when they scrape their knee and they get in a boo-boo.
Okay.
So he throws one of those in there, a couple of flashlights, a couple pairs of goggles.
Nice. This guy's a pro.
Yeah, he's got some stuff. And then he throws one of the it's a small satchel, almost like those really cool hipster one belt backpacks,
Yeah, messenger bag?
Kind of like a messenger bag, but like the way that it's constructed, it's like the backpack is right in the middle of it, but it's like really well stabilized. It's almost like you barely feel it. It like optimizes like how you carry it and your strength and stuff. And it's really high tech stuff.
All right.
Yeah. You can have your trapper keeper in there and everything. So.
All right. So, and then, I guess, do I have anything to put on?
I mean, you have what you have on. I think that's all you have.
Okay.
You can, if you want, you did see other of these adjustable, like, coverall jumpsuit things. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, your other clothes are trashed and slashed. You notice, though, that they kind of had tried to repair themselves. Like, the clothes had kind of, like, knitted itself back together a little bit, but that it had been pushed to the edge with, quite frankly, you realize it's not meant to deal with those types of wounds.
Right.
But it had actually tried. So there would be like a blood stain in it, which is just a tiny little hole by the time it was kind of starting to graft itself back together.
Okay, cool.
So.
All right. So I don't have anything to pack. I got my stuff on me. I think I'm holding a short sword and I have this newly acquired vibroblade, which does what damage?
I told you that. I think it's 2d6.
2d6?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It does require a power cell.
I don't have vibroblade.
You don't.
I didn't write it
I
down.
thought I said it. Oh, no, it was short sword.
Short sword.
That was
is
what we wrote.
1d6.
So you just erase the short sword and make it the vibroblade.
But I can't carry both?
I guess if you want to, sure.
I have it, right?
Okay, sure.
Nice.
Might as well, yeah.
Vibroblade. And that's 2d6.
2d6, yeah. Crit is on a... Oh, no. 19 or 20 is the crit. Type of damage is S for slashing. Range is X. Type is S. And then... What's that?
Size.
A medium.
Medium?
Medium, yeah.
All right.
Can you tell we just made that up? But I'm like 90% sure that's right, which means we're getting the rules.
This is really... this is cool.
Okay.
All right.
So he throws you a backpack. So you now have also, underneath equipment, you have a section for equipment.
I do. Right
somewhere. Right there. You have a backpack.
Okay. Backpack.
Yep. You have a basic first aid kit.
First aid kit. Yep.
And let's call that 4 uses. So put a 4 in parentheses. You can use that to make a treat wounds roll if you need to.
Okay.
If you have treat wounds, or you can make an unskilled treat wounds roll at a minus and use it and try to heal somebody. You have a pair of polarized goggles, which are basically the equivalent of like glasses, but obviously something that you can strap on, like sunglasses almost.
Okay.
You have 5 days worth of dried food and water. That would be for yourself because he has the same.
Okay.
And you have a small flashlight.
Flashlight.
And then 1 spare power cell for the flashlight. Just also, the vibroblade requires a power cell. If you use, yes.
Now, the different sizes for the flashlight and the vibroblade?
Yes, absolutely.
Jeez, is this
like,
a
this is like a
Holy shit.
This is like a 9 volt, and then the other one is like a 14 D batteries. I'm kidding, but yes, but it would be a different size.
I'm going to call
cell.
this an F power cell for flashlight and a V. I have a V power cell for
It's
vibroblade.
in the blade, so yeah.
Okay, it's only 1.
It provides about an hour of continuous use.
Okay.
So if you use it without the vibration, it only does 1d6 damage. So just remember that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you grab your backpacks. You got your poncho and a new pair of coveralls on.
I put my hood back up.
Yep.
Yeah. And I turn to Glume and I say, I think you follow me this time. I'm going to take you someplace that's going to be worth a while.
Okay.
It's going to be about 2, maybe 3 days travel up.
Okay. And since neither one of us can ride a horse anyways, nor drive a car, I guess we're going by foot. So
yeah, at least until maybe something presents itself.
Okay. Sometimes it's better. You draw less attention by foot. You know, I'm all about that.
Yeah, I noticed. I think that I think we have some time. How much time do we have left, you think, before the sun comes up?
I think we need to start heading across the city and get out the gate right away.
Let's go.
So he hands you, there's a glass of this calf, which you kind of...
Was that coffee?
Coffee, yeah. Calf,
Calf?
Calf. We're going to call it calf. It's fancy coffee. It's futuristic coffee.
Okay.
It's made less with... Since the coffee crop was killed in the Great Wars, it's made less with that and more like a soy caffeine extract. So they call it calf.
Okay. I take a big slug and I go, Almond Dusseldorf. That's good.
Almond Dusseldorf.
Isn't that his name? Isn't that what
I guess so, yes. That's your new god. Is that going to be your cryptic alliance to Almond Dusseldorf?
Almond Dusseldorf.
So he it seems interesting because you have these uncomfortable conversations with him because he's not a conversationalist. So he's just as content to say nothing where you are uncomfortable with the silence that he's happy with.
So he's just staring at
me. So he's just
awkwardly.
Yeah, kind of looking down and quietly sipping his calf and mentally just, okay, this is what we have to do. And I'm stuck with this kid.
Is this thing doing anything for me? Or are we just sipping some chai?
No. So you drink it and, you remember that drink that Riggs used to make for you. And it has a similar
effect. You feel like a warmth spreading through your body. You feel invigorated. Whereas after the conflict that you went through, like your body was tired and sore and beaten. And now you kind of feel a little bit invigorated and awake.
Mm-hmm.
And it's similar, but it's also different though too, because there was a little rush to his. There was something more that gave you a little different kind of rush at the same time.
Right.
It was actually, he was feeding you scissor.
Okay.
You were just drinking, basically, it was NyQuil and coffee mixed together.
Ah.
I'm kidding.
I was going to say, why did it invigorate me?
I would say that would be it. Like, so this would be a normal cup of coffee, but what he was giving you was something like some kind of pain numbing plus energizing.
So he used, like, I recognize, when I drink it, I recognize this as probably one of the ingredients, or one of the main ingredients to what Riggs used to make.
Yeah. And then there was a sweetness to it too. But yes, this would be one of the components for sure. You kind of start to piece together whatever this was. That was one of the first acts of kindness anybody had ever done to you. So when he gave you this and you drank it, it was like bliss in a cup, for you. It was.
So this is calf, K-A-F?
Calf. So calf would be one of the legs of the ingredients to whatever this special drink is that Riggs used to make for you that you now fondly think of him as you left his body downstairs, shot dead from maggot, and the anger and the emotion of all that, kind of takes you back there, and you have a moment to reflect.
Okay.
So he goes, well, let's take this on the road with us. Let's go. We're running out of time. We got to get to the gate.
All right, let's go.
The city is starting to come awake, and then we're going to be noticed. So.
Yeah, I saw a guy walking his dog outside.
Yeah. He had the 6-legged toy poodle.
Yeah.
Oh, those things are fucking weird.
Yeah.
So,
we head down the stairs.
Yeah. So we head down the main stairway and back to the main, and start working our way back to the main level, and start working our way back to that gate. And you see the familiar bar, that it's called the cracked horn. I'll write that down too. The cracked horn.
I remember that place.
Fond memories. It feels like a million years ago. Sorry, as I write this down.
No problem. This is the canteen. Should I be writing that down?
I got it.
Okay. The cracked
horn.
The cracked horn.
There's like a picture on the sign of like a horn, like a devil horn almost, and it's like the top part is like almost like cracked and severed off and kind of bent.
Nice.
Like it's falling off. And yes, it's right there by the gate. And you work your way to the gate, and the guards are there. They don't seem any more or less concerned with anything that's going on. They're standing there in these giant red suits of almost like plate armor, crimson red with the visors down, and these long sticks they're almost like 1.5 times the height of these guards, so that they could get in if somebody's in a vehicle or something, and be able to at a distance push maybe large creatures away if they were being too close to the city, or deal with crowds of people too. Okay. And they're just kind of standing there. They're not really seem overly concerned, at attention, kind of like the beef eaters in front of the they're just at attention, just stoic, not moving.
Right. Glume, I know I told you that you could start following me at this, but really, I took the lead too soon. I really meant like outside of the gate, because inside of these gates, I don't know what the hell to do. Okay. Especially when it comes to guards and exiting these things. I was usually in the back of a cart with freaking rags thrown over me. I don't even know how to get past this gate. So sorry to mislead you.
Oh yeah,
but
okay. I thought you were Mr. Big Shot. You took the bull by the horns there for a minute.
I know. I was talking a lot of shit until I saw the fucking gate, and I said, "Oh yeah, there's a fucking gate." So, what happens here? Do we show credentials? Or are we hopping walls? What are we doing?
All right, kid. Here's the best policy that I always have.
Right.
Just act like you know what you're doing. Just walk. Just walk with me. We're not prisoners here. We can walk out.
Oh.
The minute you start asking questions, you invite questions.
Okay. Well, all right. So then I'm just walking out here like I always do.
Like this is something that you do. So you're kind of walking, but it's still.
Is that true for everybody, or is that just true for us?
It's true for everybody, man. We're not being held here. We're allowed to come and go where we want. They're here to deal with threats outside as opposed to inside. And then he kind of stops talking for a second as you guys get close, and you walk past them. And once again, they're just not moving. Like, are they robots? What is inside the armor. They're not like mulling around like stormtroopers, talking about the new
right.
You see the new TX-492? It's not that kind of
They're
guard.
completely almost statue-like.
Almost like statues, yes. And you kind of walk past them, and we walk outside, and he goes, as you kind of get without, and you think it's beyond what would be normal earshot. Like he gets a really good distance where you can barely see them still before he says anything. He's like, I think they're more than just guarding. They're also the eyes and ears of the keeper. So, they probably make tabs to them as far as what's going on around the neighborhoods. And at times, you could see a group of them go in and deal with certain groups of people that are causing problems. So, the keepers are kind of the equalizers between all these neighborhoods where the mutants and the synthetics and the humans live, where you have conflict whenever you have different groups of people, kind of cohabitating the same area, right, at a necessity. But the city is very integrated in that way, where you would assume other cities that maybe you ran through were like specifically one group of people, like just humans,
right?
Anti-mutant humans, or
yeah, it's rare that everyone would be mixed.
Yeah, but it tends to be around some kind of major infrastructure that people need, like water or whatever the life's blood is that keep them in those areas. That's where cultures spring up, right?
Right.
Where there's fertility in whatever way it is. So, but yeah, you get past the guards. And you're kind of starting to, and he kind of stops. He goes, "Okay,
all right. Well, yeah.
Now what?
Now I'm in my realm here. This is way better. I know exactly where we are. So I head northeast.
Okay. Where are we going? You want to tell me? I'm going to know how to get there. It's not like I'm blindfolded. You want to tell me where we're going?
Yeah, we're going to, there's an installation that I think is buried underground. I could see some of it from where I am when I've been out there. But it's further away. And whatever it is, it appears to be pretty well buried. And I don't know, I guess they just thought it wasn't worth the time, or the energy to get down there. Because it's another day's travel, and I don't know. Or maybe they just thought it was junk. But from what I could see, I've been through a lot of different places like this, and it just seems like a place that's going to have something. I just feel it. Even if it doesn't, I know places within eyeshot of it that we usually go, and at least we'll come back with something. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be something there.
Okay. So, as you said, your journey to this place, this facility, which I'm kind of drawing up here on this little map it's not going to work for the audience, but I'll try to describe it. Mm-hmm. The Citadel dwells really close to a bay, like an opening to the ocean, and that's where the city is built. Like I said, it's like a hexagon, pentagon, octagon.
It depends how many sides.
I forget how many sides I said. It was the highest one possible.
12?
Yeah.
Hexagon.
That's what we said. So, and it's built here. You know, around it is immediately...
I don't think 12 is the highest amount of sides possible, though.
It's the highest sides that I could remember.
Okay. I think you can go 64.
But
probably you can go to infinitely.
Okay.
But do you remember? I just wanted to clarify to any. I wanted to,
and maybe
I'm trying to be accurate.
Okay. So, immediately around this place, it's pretty leveled around that. You don't know whether it was because of the conflict or whatever, but there's not a lot of trees. You have kind of rolling hills and grass, and then what looks like an older road that is right there off the city that is something that goes back to pre-war. That's mostly in place, but you could just tell it's kind of cracked and grass has grown through the asphalt that was there, and it leads up a road to a major piece of infrastructure where you have a lot of the traffic, which was like almost like an overpass looking. I mean, you don't know what an overpass is, but it would be for us an overpass. You know, this would have been a major freeway of some kind,
right?
And that's the easiest way to go from place to place because everything else is completely overgrown. So you know that this place is about 3 days away. About 2 days from here is a city where you can provision up because that's where Husk would stop. The city's name is Brookdale, and they are by a river, and they're about less than a day from this
compound that you talk about that you've gone a few times, that you've gotten some good stuff, but you remember that there was this sub basement that you guys have never gone into, where you think there's probably some stuff down there, and they never pushed you to go down there, but you have a really good feeling that there's something in this sub basement that's going to pay off.
Right.
Okay. So, so you start to lead. You're walking down this big road.
So now, I could. So 2 days away from me is what's the name of the town?
Brookdale.
Brookdale.
Uh-huh.
And Brookdale is the only way into the facility which I'm speaking.
No, but it's a jumping off point, and it's a place for you to resupply. Yeah, and
but you also said it's a place that Husk frequents.
Well, everybody would use it as a jumping off point because as you get further from the Citadel, there's all kinds of areas where you can go.
So I've seen other. It's not just. It's a big enough of a crowd mix to not be a problem. That if he and I don't want to run into Husk.
Well, I mean, look, there's a possibility, but it's one of many cities that are going to be jump off points. It's smaller than the Citadel.
Right.
It's more towards the wastelands and the open areas where it's not, it's wilder as you're going that way.
Right.
So this is one of maybe like 8 different jumping off points he might use to go on these expeditions. Because anything close has been picked clean, because it's easy. Everybody can get to it.
Right.
Think of it like a frontier town in the Old West, something on the edge of civilization.
I say I'm going to head there, and after all, I'm 19 years old. I just freaking killed that guy. I just saw my best friend, my only friend I've had in the past 9 years, crucified in front of me, and I'm full of piss and vinegar, I guess.
Okay.
And maybe part of me doesn't really care if I run into Husk. Though me as a player probably think that's probably not a smart idea at this juncture. But my character may not give a crap, and it would be stupid of him. But his intelligence, I have no modifiers. But yeah, so I'm going to go into the town. Okay. I was thinking for a second of skipping it and just going. All right, now it's recording again. We could see the little red light, and you see the numbers moving, but then the light goes out.
Yeah,
sucks. You can't really tell if it's recording.
It definitely does not give you a good it should turn green or something.
Yeah, it should be flashing like right before the batteries.
Some difference, yeah. So.
But instead, it just silently said, "You know what? Fuck you guys. Yeah. I know you're doing a show, but I'm gonna just shut down now
and
quietly."
We were so into what we were doing that we didn't notice.
Right.
So, I guess to everybody who is just hearing this now, we lost a chunk of audio in the middle of
the batteries died 36 minutes into showing full battery charge on the damn thing. We checked it. It was like, oh, good, full battery. Usually when we finish, it's like half a battery.
Yeah. So what brand battery were those?
Well,
were they the Energizer?
See,
were they Duracell?
This is going to be my fault.
They were Duracells, right?
No, they weren't.
They were members, Mark?
I had any loops.
Any loops?
Yeah. Panasonics, lithium, whatever the heck they are.
Okay.
Excellent batteries.
Yep. Those were the ones that were in there?
No.
Okay.
Yes and no.
Okay.
I had one of them in there.
Okay. So it was half something good. What was the other one?
Sunbeam.
Sunbeam
battery.
They make great clothes steamers.
Well, because
who knew they made batteries?
I had the choice between this, which was I thought was brand new, and a 3/4 dead any loop. So I went with the full Sunbeam, and it showed full battery. I'm like, oh, good, we're good.
So what I think we're going to do, dear listeners, is we're going to go anti-battery.
Recap. Well, this is what happened. We were, and this isn't the recap. Chris is going to recap. But while you gather the recap in your mind, I'm going to give a quick overview of what happened. So I had just basically made the decision. I was contemplating going through to town directly or going around it.
Mm-hmm.
I decided because Husk was going to be there. Then later decided that this character maybe wouldn't care, and so made the decision to go in that direction. While doing that, we had a fun conversation. Myself and Glume were just walking in the woods, or the outskirts of the woods, and we got a lot of character exposition.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of stuff which you're going to go into now. It was like
I am.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
You're going to read because we just said, but I said, well, it's improv. It's not like it was lore, and then you said, which is true. It is now. It is lore because we said it, but the listeners didn't hear it get said. But it's a shame because it was kind of cool. It was kind of natural.
No, it was very cool. Yeah.
And from there is where a little bit of action started, and that part when after that whole interaction, and then some of the action started. When we were just starting, we were not completely just starting. We think maybe
about halfway through.
We're 2 rounds. We hadn't even swung and hit the thing yet. We were just I don't want to spoil it, but and I happened to look down and saw the thing's dead. So now, really, the only thing we missed is some of the lore.
Yep.
And I think maybe we should just pick up from that approach again.
Okay. So you exited the city gates and you got onto a major surface street, which would equate to a highway, piece of infrastructure that a lot of people used to cross, between towns and stuff. And we talked about the fact that there would be some farmers on there and some other cars, more advanced cars and less advanced vehicles and carts pulled by animals. And Glume and Meecho were walking, having uncomfortable one-sided conversations.
Glume isn't talkative.
Yep.
We learned that.
And Meecho's an awkward talker.
He's a little awkward when he talks, and he's not a conversationalist.
Yep.
We learned a little bit about his. That's when I inquired about his suit I inquired about his ability to move so quietly. Yeah. Because I was making noise in the woods, he wasn't. Then you went on to explain a little bit about the suit.
Yeah, he obviously has some piece of technology in his suit that allows him, it dampens the sound that he makes, because Meecho had noted that he was making no sound at all, no footfalls, nor sound of any kind of, leaves or anything that would have been on the ground. And so they had used this to transit a good distance and walk and mostly silence, scanning the woods constantly for activity. And then they had exited where they needed to transit to a surface type street and across an open area, and there was a little rubble town there that you kind of transited through to get to the open area to skirt the woods that will lead you to Brookdale, which is eventually the hop off point for this facility that you're going towards.
Okay.
And as you transited and broke the other side of the rubble, Glume was completely oblivious.
Are we recording?
Don't.
Yeah.
See, now it's not funny. It was before I thought.
Now you know why I do it.
Yeah, totally now. It was funny before because I said he's so paranoid. This will never happen.
Yep.
And then it happened. Now it's not funny.
Now it's not funny anymore.
As we scramble to put some kind of content together. Glume was completely oblivious, but Meecho, after several spot rolls,
of course, heard
a high pitched whine, and to their left as they were walking towards this edge of this thicker woods, much thicker woods that they need to skirt to get to the town. He heard this high pitched whine. He noted at the top of the hill to his left some spider goat creatures that were grazing. And as he started to pick up his pace, Glume said, "Are we fast walking?"
Right.
And Meecho didn't say anything, and they continued to fast walk. And as he's looking, and Glume continues to be oblivious because he continues to make bad rolls, something crests the hill, and this high pitched metallic whine and this cloud almost floating like a mirage in the air completely emulsifies these 2 goat creatures. They go from solid to liquid instantaneously, and it begins to roll and adjust course as Meecho and Glume pick up speed.
Right. They start to run.
And they start to run at a full run at one point when they realize that it's adjusting. A little bit of panic sets in. So they slip into a crumbled section of a few walls to take some cover.
Right.
As this metallic cloud sweeps over them and envelops them. As it rolled over them, they could see these metallic, almost like teardrop thorn type things with red tips bouncing off the walls on the opposite side of them, as it was almost like hunting for them. Meecho pulled out his sword and thought about potentially attacking it when Glume grabbed his arm and they started to run in the opposite direction, breaking for the woods, obviously noting that obstructions tend to kind of disorient this thing. So they start to run towards the woods, and it adjusts and it's on them. Meecho tries to blindly flail his sword behind him as he runs,
swinging in air.
Ineffective. And as they roll up, Glume notes a bunch of kind of half-buried cars to their right that they can kind of slip between.
Right.
To once again throw some kind of barrier up between them and this thing that's rolling on top of them.
Mm-hmm.
As they do that and they try to slip between the cars, Glume does it quite gracefully. Meecho kind of bounces and stumbles off the car and doesn't get the full amount of cover, and he is nicked by this cloud and scraped.
Right.
For
minus 6 damage.
Yep, 6 points of damage as it hit him. And then at that point, we did some initiative rolls, and you guys missed the sound of us rolling dice. There were maps drawn that no one could see that we talked about for a period of time. So,
no, I think
so. Maybe that was
your
good.
Map drawing was in there.
Yep. So
we got the map drawing. We just missed the cool conversation.
And so where we left off was they were 2 rounds away from this edge of the woods. The swarm of these metallic objects are on top of them.
Right.
They made some rolls to maintain their composure when this thing was swarming around their heads, because you would think of it like a swarm of bees swarming around you. You know, you could potentially panic the fact that this is all around you, and where do you attack when it's in every direction?
Right.
And you were, I believe where we left off, we were 2 rounds away from the edge of the woods.
Oh, I thought we were one round, because if that second round is when. After I was flailing with the sword, I was 2 rounds away at that point.
Okay.
I had the initiative, and then Glume, and then this thing.
Yep.
And
actually, Glume, you, and then
Glume, me, and the thing. And Glume was full out running, so I turned my vibroblade off and was just full out running too. I think that's when it caught up with me, hit me, missed Glume.
Okay.
I got -6.
Yep.
And then now it's not the round where I'm at.
It attacked you
yet.
the second round, and it bounced off of your armor, and it was ineffective. And
right.
It missed Glume the second round. So you're right. The
right.
third
so
round.
So that's the start of the first round, and then the next round, I think we're in the woods.
Yes. This is the last round.
Okay, so I'm just going to keep running.
Yep, and he'll keep running too.
Oh, he goes first. Yeah, so he keeps running.
So he keeps running at full speed. You are right behind him running, and this thing is behind you attacking. It's going to get a minus to attack you.
Okay.
But it rolls a 15. Your defense is 19.
My defense is the 13
plus the
6 on the tactical vest.
Is 19.
19.
And he rolled a 15 with a +9, which is 19, but with a minus.
Can I tack on skills?
No. You're gonna because you're running. He's getting a -4 anyways.
Oh, he's getting a -4.
But he missed you. But I do need you to make another reflex save, please.
Also, did they hear me change dice?
Oh yeah, and then
I changed the D20.
Nick changed D20s, and we hope this one has better luck.
He said they're both easy roll, but I don't know.
No, that one's the clear ones are easy roll. Actually, you know what? No, one of the ones I had and one of the ones I gave you.
This is the cooler one.
Yeah, this is easy roller because this is the same one.
Okay, so this is the one that's rolling.
The clear ones are the old ones. So I was wrong even when I told you that because you were using the easy roller. So make a reflex roll.
Yeah, I'm rolling. It has an 18.
18. So easyrollerdice.com.
Plus 2 reflex is 20.
So you make another reflex roll. So the cloud rolls around you. You manage to keep your composure, and he rolls an 18 as well. Easyrollerdice.com.
No free ads.
I'm going to plug them because it's awesome rolls. Basically, the third round, you're running towards the woods. The cloud has enveloped you, but it's been ineffective for whatever reason, whether it's bouncing off of your armor and it's protecting you, or it's just missing because you guys are rolling and kind of twisting as you run. And you reach the edge of the woods, and it kind of gets beat back as you guys cross that edge of the woods. You crash through thick branches on the outside and into the woods, and those thick branches kind of knock it back for a second as it doubles its efforts, and you hear just leaves are flying everywhere, but it seems to have slowed it down. But you are in the woods right now.
Okay. Is it Are we still engaged in combat? Are we still doing initiative here? Or is it Glume goes now then?
I mean, it will have to close on you again, so we will have to re-roll initiative. But I mean,
Right now
I need to know
action.
what you're doing before.
Well, I wanted to just keep running.
Okay.
But while running, just pull out my short sword, being that I'm in some thick brush, right? I don't want anything
Okay,
long.
so you have your vibro sword out in one hand, and you have your short sword out in the other.
Oh
hand?
shit! I still have my vibro blade out.
Yeah.
All right, at least leave it.
Okay.
And just keep running.
Okay. So you guys keep running for another round, and you see it kind of start to try to focus itself, but you see that with the trees, it's causing some disorientation with the cloud. Some of it have kind of continued to follow you, but the rest of it is back, and you notice that they won't go too far from the other one. So
Right.
you're starting to leave it a little bit behind. You can hear the whine, and it almost becomes like angry, like as it's trying to like pull itself back together, and you can hear it hitting trees and shattering branches and wood all over the place behind you. But it's getting more and more faint behind you as you are basically running full speed in the woods.
Wow. Okay. Glume is with me, right?
Yes,
And
he's
so
actually
just-
in
let's book it.
front of you. Yeah, it's almost like you're probably pretty much following him.
Yeah, he's faster than me, right?
We got longer legs, and he just made a better roll, so he's been ahead of you.
Right.
So
All right, so I'm going to just keep following Glume at full speed out of here until I really hardly hear any of these fuckers.
all right, make another reflex save.
19.
6, and he has a plus 1 per reflex.
My reflex?
No, you're fine. 19, you're fine too.
Okay.
His reflex is plus 6. He's fine too. So you managed to not run into a tree or a branch, which would have held you up, and you're another round away from it, and you hear it get even further away. Whatever it is, sensors, whatever it's using to try to track you or lock on you, being in the woods was the right thing to do.
Okay.
So it's searching, but you, like I said, you can hear it just angrily roiling behind you and just smashing into things, and it just really cannot seem to find you.
Okay. The direction we're running, is this towards the town?
Well, I mean, so what you've had to do is, remember we talked about the fact that you were going to have to skirt the outside of these woods, and it was going to take about 2 days, but now you're running straight through the woods, and you run. I'm assuming you're going to continue to run.
Well, this is the route.
Well,
I don't know if this was.
So hold on.
Made it in.
Tell me when are you going to stop running? So you're running. You can still
Right. Well,
hear
this is
it.
why I'm just could be thinking a little bit in running. So I'm running, and I realize we're running north, and this is towards the town. And
Well,
also
no, you don't realize which way you're running.
I don't know which way I'm
You're
running.
panicking. You're running
panicking.
in a panic. Right?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is I'm just going to I'm going to keep running.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to slow to a jog a little bit,
Okay.
and just look around and see if I recognize where I am.
All right. Make a survival roll.
1.
Roll again.
1.
Okay. So, yeah, you think you know where you are, and you say,
I think I know
Glume,
where I am.
and you turn to Glume and you go, Glume, that way, and you kind of point in one direction. And he adjusts his running too, and he was running to a jog, but now you guys are heading off. Like you were running straight, and you kind of stop for a second. You go, oh, okay, this way, and you say to the left, and you start running to the left. And you guys are running to the left, and after a few minutes, you finally decide that it's probably safe to quit running. Now you walk; it's like a brisk walk. And you're both kind of huffing and puffing from the running that you've had to do to get free, but you're damp from perspiration. and now you're kind of quick walking through the woods, and you continue to slow your pace till you feel pretty confident that you're at a walk, and that whatever it was that was behind you, you've lost it.
All right.
What's your what's your constitution?
+1.
No, just your straight constitution number.
13.
Okay. No, so I mean, you guys are pretty. You recover pretty quickly. You're okay. You're better than average as far as cardiovascular health and stuff.
So, Glume, what the hell was that thing?
It must have been some kind of nanite swarm or something.
Maybe defense mechanism.
But everyone's on that road.
Yeah, well, sometimes there's things that are rogue. They're just running around out there thinking they're doing the right thing, fulfilling some piece of programming that doesn't exist anymore or doesn't pertain to anything anymore.
Jesus. I mean, Amon Dieseldorf.
How much of Amon Dieseldorf got kept?
I don't know.
Oh, so
I should have said Amon. I meant to say Jesus. So
Amon Diesendorf survives, but most of those brilliant descriptions that we had don't.
You think that way?
Anyways.
Oh, no, I think we got the first part of the cool descriptions, but not the second part. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, so we I usually stick to the road. I'm not 100% sure where we are. I mean, where?
No, you
around.
feel like you know that you're going in the right
know?
direction. Oh yeah, you absolutely think that the direction you're going is the right direction.
So I'm going to. I don't know. Let's keep going this way.
Okay. So I mean, you're very confident that that's the way you want to go. So you're going that way.
Fucker, man.
You're walking and you're walking and you're walking, and once again, you don't know where you're going, but it's getting close to the sun going down.
Okay.
And you're like, you know what? We should probably be closer to the edge of the woods at this point, and we're not. Make a spot roll for me.
5
All right.
plus 3, 8.
You know what? You still feel pretty confident that the way you're going is the right way. But I mean, you know, look, you were running through the woods at full speed. It's disorienting, you know.
Right.
You feel pretty strongly this is the right way to go. You know what? How big could the woods be? You're going to hit the edge of the woods at some point, you know. So maybe we need to camp for the night.
Right. Yeah. Glume. I don't know. Maybe we got mixed up. Running. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure we should have come to the other side at this point. I'm thinking that I'm not entirely sure where we are. Can I look for? You said the sun's going down?
Yeah.
What? I look towards the sun going down.
You can't see the sun because the woods are too thick, but you can see that the
Where
light,
the light
is
is
starting
coming
to dimension.
from. Okay. I can tell the general direction the sun's going down?
Roughly, yeah.
Okay. Glume. Glume?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just want to make sure you're still there.
I was thinking
sometimes
I'm
I don't
not
know.
used to speaking out loud.
Does the sun set in the east or the west?
East and west?
There's
Higher,
no east and west and
high or low for favorable results.
low.
I mean, it sets in the east, or no, west? I don't know. I mean,
I think it rises in the east
okay.
and sets in the west.
All right. I'm going to give you one last chance. Make a DC 20 survival check.
9.
Okay. You know what? Maybe it's the woods. Maybe you can't exactly make out which way the sun is, but this is the right way. This is the right way to go. So, you know, but the sun's going down. Maybe camping is the right thing to do. If you lose the sun, how do you navigate, right? You can't see the stars.
Well, I think we should camp, but I just wanted to know how far off I might have gone in the wrong direction.
You think you're right on course. You know, you think you're right on course.
So I don't even know that. I think I'm right on course.
You think you're right on course. Yeah.
So east and west, the sun. So I can't help myself with that.
Yeah.
So then,
just so let's let everybody know that Nick rolled a critical failure, and then followed it up with another critical failure.
Yeah, I rolled 2 1s in a row. But okay, so I
could have let you pass on anything, but double critical failure is, you know, you're fucked, dude.
Yeah, I deserve it. Who the hell rolls 2 1s?
It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just, I guess we should hold up for the night. Do we have any? I start looking for a clearing where we could bed down, maybe pile up some dead leaves or something on the ground.
All right, make a survival check. DC 10.
2.
Jesus Christ. So much for being in your fucking element.
2 plus 2 is a 4.
No, you don't make it. So
I can't make a bed.
Your struggles in the woods continue. You can't find any dry wood to make a fire. Nothing suitable to make any kind of cover. So in the event that there's any kind of rain, so you guys spend a pretty cold and fucking wet and miserable night sleeping on wet moss and mud and just sucking ass.
Great.
And wake up uncomfortable, not refreshed, in the woods. What do you do?
I look around.
Okay.
See anything
yeah, I mean,
remarkable?
the problem with the woods is there's no path. It's not open. You don't really have any good idea. Make another DC 20 survival roll.
4.
No. So you don't see anything particularly that jumps out to you that this way is better to go than that way. But you still feel comfortable.
Did I know that the town was north of us? Did I know anything about the direction of the town? That maybe Glume can help me get to this freaking place?
No, you can't think of navigating in that way, and even east and west in that way, because you don't live in that world. You live in the world where you just know that this is the way we go to get there.
All right.
And your survival skills would get you there normally.
Right.
Your critical failure fucks you. You're convinced that this way is the way to go.
In perpetuity.
No matter what.
No matter what.
Your critical failure says...
So let's just
are absolutely 100% Captain fucking Ahab convinced that this is the way that we want to go.
So I'm going to keep going in that direction and camping camping and going until I run into something.
So you continue along this course, and you travel another full day, high or low?
Low.
Okay. And the next day is relatively uneventful. The woods are spooky, though. Like, you're moving towards where it's getting darker. The woods are getting thicker and thicker.
Right.
And you're once again convinced that this is the way to go. You've never been in the woods, though, so you're not, you don't know what the lay of the land is like in here, and you know that they almost intentionally stayed away from it. But you're going deeper and deeper into the woods. And the trees are getting thicker and thicker, and it's getting darker and darker. And
we camp again.
Yeah. So,
Glume, I don't even think I'm lost.
No.
After 3 days going in the wrong direction.
Well, no. So
does Glume have the clue that
this
we
is
were lost?
This is day 2, and it usually would take about 2 days. But you should be in Brookdale by now,
right?
But then again, you're in the woods. You panicked and you ran away from that fucking thing. So, I mean, maybe it will take a little bit longer.
All right. Glume. Things going great, man.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I thought you said that we would be
awesome.
We would be there by now.
Well,
you know what?
I don't know. It will be there.
You know what? This is obviously not the way that you remember going. So who knows how long? By mid-morning tomorrow, hopefully we'll be there. Make another survival check for me.
Okay. 14 plus
so
60.
Now you were able to, after spending some time in the woods, you pull some branch up, you find drier stuff underneath, and you manage to get a nice fire going. You build a real simple lean-to and a little kind of like a little platform to sleep off of the ground, so you're not sleeping on the ground. And your second night in the woods is much more comfortable. You have a fire, you're able to enjoy the rations, and you are able to rest more comfortably.
Okay.
So,
do I gain any hit points back from these 2?
Oh, yeah.
Nights sleep?
Give yourself 4 hit points of the 6 that you lost back.
So I'm going to give myself -2 now.
Would you have wanted to try to use the med kit on yourself?
Yeah, I probably should have did that first night, but I said, all right, I'll use. Wait, we have 4 med kit. Nah, I'm good.
Okay. So, you kind of clean him up a little bit, but you don't crack the med kit because it's not that bad. It's just like minor scratches,
Okay.
But you manage to just clean them up a little bit and wipe them down with some fresh water, and you're okay. You wake up the next morning. Make another DC 20 survival roll.
16 plus 2, 18.
Oh, fuck. Okay. I mean, I'm trying to give you a chance to get out of the fact that you're going completely in the wrong direction. But you're traveling, once again, through the darker part of the woods, and it's starting to lighten up a little bit. And the trees are spreading out and not quite so thick. High or low?
Low.
All right. So the next day is uneventful as you travel through the woods and you transit to what, as the woods continue to get thinner and thinner and thinner. And by the end of the next day, which would be day 3, you are on the edge of the woods.
So now I see a clearing. Do I see
you see a clearing and it's open, but when you break the clearing, nothing is familiar on that side.
All right.
Make a DC 15 survival roll.
2.
All right, so you're like you exit the woods on day 3 with your badass friend with you, and you're scratching your head. You're going, how the fuck? I mean, we got lost in the woods. Is the only thing you can assume.
Okay.
So you're on the edge of the woods, and you can see that it stretches out to your right and it stretches out to your left.
Glume. I think we're fucking lost, man.
Now you tell me. All right. Well, I don't know. We got
Husk never went through the woods. Now I know why.
Okay. So I don't know. You got no idea which way to go? Make another survival roll.
What about streetwise?
Streetwise is for cities. Survival is for woods.
Okay. 8. Every time I do this, it's not good. I'm just better off throwing it down. Well, not that time. But no.
No. Okay, then you got a 20. Got a 14. Now you got good karma.
4.
That die's fucking crazy.
3.
Dude. It's all over the place.
11. The ground is real. This table's rock hard. You know, I need a soft 3.
I mean, look.
I'm getting all the shitty rolls out now.
You know kind of how the woods are, and they're circular like this with a lot of cleared areas around it. You know, you kind of got a 50-50 chance. I mean, you could go back across
it's circular, right? Yeah, whichever direction I pick, I'm going to either end up right where I was. At some point, I have to pass it.
Yep.
I just don't want to run into that stupid thing again.
Yep.
So I don't know. I asked Glume if he has a coin and would like to flip it. You have a coin?
Sure.
You might as well just fucking flip it, because I know these things are circular.
Okay.
I like circular shaped, and I think that if we keep going in any direction, we're just going to end up back where we started.
You're going to end up the right way, yeah. Well, then it makes sense. I mean, I think that's the best we can do. I don't know if we want to go back through. It's impossible to navigate in there.
Right.
And you're not familiar with it, so that's causing problems. So
right. So let's walk along the edge.
All right. High or low?
Low.
All right. So you make a DC 10 survival.
12.
There. All right.
14. So
you travel about half the day and you realize that, okay, you start to recognize maybe the way the countryside is kind of rolling, of like, you know what, I'm pretty sure this is going to lead down into this valley where this Brookdale place is, and you're not sure how many days it's going to take, but you feel like now you're definitely heading in the right direction.
Okay.
High or low?
Low. We'll stick with low. Oh, well.
All right. Let me see
here. These are quality wasabi peas.
The Amish make the best wasabi peas.
Is this from our local drugstore?
They are from our local drugstore. All right, so okay. So you're walking along the edge of the woods about halfway through the 4th day of your 3-day journey. When make a spot check for me.
14.
So
plus 3, 17.
Okay, so you make the spot check. So up on the up once again in the clearing to the along the edge of the woods in your path, you see something sparking and arcs of lightning shooting out of this thing and hitting trees, and a mechanical noise.
Again, not something I've seen before.
No, it looks like a cylindrical kind of floating object with
so I have no
6
idea
metallic arms. You're not sure what it is, but it's kind of sparking and smoking and
cutting down trees,
and spinning around, and arcs of lightning and electricity are shooting out of it and hitting trees.
Yeah.
And
you said this is a robot. glitching like robot.
It seems like it's something that's
broken.
malfunctioning.
It seems
You can actually hear it yelling malfunction, and
okay.
It's just randomly shooting arcs of lightning out.
Glume.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, hi.
Damn. Do you ever seen one of those?
No, looks like some kind of synthetic. I don't know. I've never seen that specific, but it certainly seems like something that we want to avoid if at all possible. I mean, you know my policy.
Yeah, I know your policy. He just looks like he's freaking out. But yeah, maybe we should take a wide berth. So maybe we just take a wide berth around him.
So are you going to go out into the clearing around him, or are you going to try to cut to the woods around him?
Can we go into the woods just a little bit? Where I don't get turned around. Where I can kind of get.
You can maybe not go as deep. Make a real quick survival check, please. Okay. Yeah, you feel pretty confident that you can go a little bit deeper into the woods, keep them to your left, use the cover, and kind of skirt around that.
Yeah, let's go around that bastard.
And so let me just see if he. All right, he a tree kind of splinters and falls as you guys are kind of sneaking through the woods to the right of it and going deeper and deeper, and you are able to safely avoid this malfunctioning droid, whatever it is, to get out of its way. And then actually behind you, as you kind of are moving away, you can hear and like an explosion, like as if whatever it was malfunctioning, and it just finally went and it just gave,
detonated. Okay,
yeah,
good. It's a good thing we got out of there.
So you're able to.
That's a good policy, Glume.
Now, and as a matter of fact, as you finish the end of your fifth day. Fourth day, sorry. At the end of your fourth day, and you set up camp, make another survival roll. Okay, so
you're 6.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to get a fire going. It's not quite as nice as the other camp you made. You didn't have the right materials, but once again, you're off the ground. You have a little fire going, and you also feel like you know that if you can either go around continue to go back out of the woods and along the edge, or maybe you can navigate. You feel like comfortable enough to navigate through this part of the woods where you can shave off a few hours, and you could be on the edge of Brookdale within a few hours.
Back through the woods and be there in a few hours, or whip around and
be a whole nother day. It also seems like most of the random encounters you've run to have been on the edges here. So, I mean, you don't know. What you're not really understanding is why you've gone through the woods. Why did Husk avoid the woods? The woods seems like safer than the clearings.
Right. But we got turned around in there, and then maybe there's a reason why he never went in the woods, because maybe we didn't come across a lot worse things.
Well, and also logically, too, I mean, if he usually had a caravan of vehicles with him,
that's true, too.
Not as easy to go through the woods. But,
right.
But, you know, obviously, maybe that would be the only reason from what you've managed to experience.
All right. You know what? I'm going to cut through the woods. Fuck it.
Okay. All right. So you get up the next morning, you break camp, make a survival roll. DC 10.
20.
Okay. So, now, one last time. High or low?
Low.
All right. So you were able to navigate through the woods safely for the whole rest of the next day and break the clearing of the woods north of where you would have come around the woods. So you're coming now, Brookdale is kind of to the southeast of you, whereas if you had come around the other side, it would have been kind of to the north of you. So you basically went
around went the back door.
You went the long way around the woods instead of the short way around the woods because of your misroll.
And I'm coming in through the rear.
Through a different entrance. Yeah, there's two main gates. There's a southern gate and there's a western gate. You're walking a western gate, and you see it's a sleepy town with like a stockade wall. They have a few guards. It's not nearly as sophisticated as the Citadel. Lights rigged up, and a checkpoint at the doorway. You see a stream of people going in and out, some people in carts with food and stuff, smoke rising from there. You can kind of smell food from the distance, fresh food, and they are right off this waterway, and you could tell that clearly, like, the waterway is a major part of how they travel, move stuff, trade with people, probably fishing. But you can see the town of Brookdale.
Okay. And it's almost night now, or is it still midday?
No, you're actually late afternoon. So.
Late afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but Glume, this is the town. I think from here, it should be only another day's travel, is it? I think to the
there's one less than a day to get to the facility.
I think we're about less than a day from the facility.
Okay. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Look, dude, I was running through freaking a bee's nest the size of
I'm giving
building.
you a hard time. I'm giving you a hard time.
Well,
okay.
I mean, it's starting to give me a complex. You weren't much help either. I mean, you were just walking. You weren't making any noise, mind you, but still, you didn't know where you were either.
No, I didn't know.
Okay. I just want to clarify. All right, so let's. I look around. Do I see any merchants like buying and selling weapons, anything like that?
Well, you haven't. You're heading towards the city.
I'm not in the
so
city
you're not
yet.
through the gate yet. So
there's a gate yet. There's probably guards there.
Yeah.
Okay, what do I do? Can I see the gate from where I am?
Yeah, you guys are approaching the gate. Like I said, there's a smoke kind of hanging over the town, partially from coming off the water. Maybe some fog and some mist, and then just smoke from the actual just town of what's in there cooking or however they're powering the lights. Something is creating this smoke effect that's hanging around the town.
Okay,
and you are walking towards the gate, and you can see about 5 heavily armed guards in kind of mixed match armor, kind of camouflage, sitting there in the gate. And they're moderately giving people a hard time as they walk through. Somebody looks like they're armed and they're trouble. They stop them for a minute, and you can hear them, looking, and then they eventually let them go.
Right.
But I mean, they're not full on like stopping people. They're not asking for papers or anything like that.
Right. Glume, tell me how I do. And I proceed to prance through the place like I own the place, like he said to do.
Okay. All right. So, head down. You guys walk high or low?
Low.
Okay. So you approach, and, they kind of give you guys a once-over, but you are able to slip into the gate and into the town and into the bazaar without event at all. And
I turn to Glume. I can't believe that that's all I had to do all that time.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Aman.
So you are now in Brookdale. You are in the bazaar, the open air bazaar.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to stop here or not. There's some stuff that you need to do here before you jump off.
Oh! You mean the show?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying
how much did we record? How much did we record?
Are we recording?
See, that's not funny anymore.
35 minutes and another. This is a little over an hour. It's a little bit shorter than usual.
So an hour and a half.
Even though we went longer
than usual. Yeah.
All right. So let's stop in the town of what?
Brookdale.
Brookdale. We got there. Meecho,
eventually,
through the tutelage of Glume, learned to walk straight through the gate. Not that they're looking to actively stop people, but he's never walked through a gate.
I mean, I think it's fair. You've never navigated yourself either.
No.
So let's be fair. Where you and
he's never walked through a gate.
So
before. He's used to being a rat in the back of a carriage, like with a tarp over it.
Yeah. Much like this show, and much like role playing for us right now, there's a learning curve with all things, and your character is suffering that.
So,
learning curve.
I'm like, when I see a gate, I'm intimidated a little bit by it.
Yeah, but you're learning to navigate your way through the world. And you're learning the world while we do this. We're building the world while you do this.
Yes, and apparently we're learning how to record.
We are. And talk. You know what? And we were spending so much time. I blamed the talking in the microphones thing we're trying to do. Like we're talking
really
more.
Trying to stay on mic.
Yeah. And so I think by doing that, you can't
move your head to look down at that stupid thing.
Yeah,
and
we need like a display that says recording, like on the air or something.
Yeah, and we need to stop using batteries. Or we need to use batteries and AC power. Not that I know if it would fail over. I don't know.
We believe in the effort of continuous improvement, dear listeners. We want to get better at all things.
Yes.
So,
but It was it still came out good.
I think. Hopefully, I hope so.
That whole encounter was
It was really awesome when we played it.
Was really awesome
because we were into it. Damn it. Well,
and we took our time, and the whole description and that thing like continuously creeping. It was kind of like Stephen King Mist type of this thing rolling, and it was cool.
I thought.
And then at one
job.
point we were rolling, we were running full steam, and it's still chasing us. And there was banter between the two of us.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
It was
Okay. Well,
you're like, oh, we're running now, and like I turn and give you a look, and then you go, yes, we're running now. I mean, there was like a lot of. We'll get it next time.
Whatever.
At least
you guys should have been.
At least we know we're capable. I know.
Yeah, you should have been there, guys.
At least we know we can do fun stuff like that. All right. So if you like the show, don't forget to tell a friend and check out the other show, the which technically is the main show.
The shit show.
The shit show. No, we had the shit show last week. But it's doomsdaydoopydoo.com, and we'll find us on Twitter. Nick, and of course that's Chris. And that's it for another episode of Doomsday Doopy Doo, Gamma World number 5 or something.
Wasabi peas, motherfucker.
There you go. That's a good. We'll use that.
This hit me.
Wait, you gotta say it again because I stepped all over it. Again.
Wasabi peas, motherfucker. There you go. That's our new sign off. I don't know.
We're still recording. That's right.